2017, underwater archaeologist Mark Hawley led a research team into the frigid waters of Grand Traverse Bay, their lights barely penetrating the pea-green murk, 40 feet below the choppy surface of Lake Michigan. Sonar had pinged something extraordinary, a perfect circle of house-sized boulders arranged with geometric precision that seemed impossible for natural forces alone. One bearing a weathered carving of a mastodon, complete with curling tusks and trunk, an animal extinct for over 10,000 years, positioned when this was dry land hundreds of feet above today's waterline. No construction equipment, no roads, no cranes in sight for miles. How did ancient hands shape and place these megaliths in what's now the middle of Lake Michigan's unpredictable depths? Picture yourself on a clear October morning, off Door County, Wisconsin, where the lake stretches 321 miles north toward the Upper Peninsula, 118 miles across at its widest. Its surface glass calm one moment before, wind shear spawns 28-foot waves that flip 600-foot freighters like toys. Third largest Great Lake by volume, it holds 1,180 cubic miles of fresh water, enough to flood the entire contiguous United States under 1.4 feet of pure H2O. Since 1679, when French explorer Robert de La Salle sailed the first European ship Le Griffon across its waters, Lake Michigan has claimed over 6,000 vessels and uncounted lives. But its true secrets lie far below surface dramas, in geological time capsules spanning 12 millennia, vanished cultures marked by stone, biological enigmas thriving in eternal darkness, and acoustic mysteries that sonar barely begins to map. Have you ever wondered what stories the silt tells when no one's listening? 12,000 years ago, the Laurentide ice sheet, 2 miles thick, retreated from North America after 100,000 years of grinding advance, gouging basins deeper than 900 feet into Precambrian bedrock older than multicellular life itself. Meltwater rivers thundered into these scars, creating a freshwater sea that expanded and contracted through violent climatic swings. The Two Creeks phase around 11,900 BC raised levels 30 feet above today. The Nipissing transgression, 4,500 BC, flooded entire forests. Ojibwe oral histories preserved as Michigami, Great Water, speak of villages swallowed when ancient shorelines collapsed under seismic jolts. Sediment cores from NOAA expeditions confirm this. Oak and hickory pollen from 7,000 BC carpets, layers beneath Chicago's skyscrapers. Potawatomi tales describe copper-rich islands, now 600 feet underwater, validated by USGS bathymetric maps showing drowned reefs. After spring gales, lithium-preserved stumps sometimes bob to the surface near Sheboygan, roots intact, bark black and leathery from tannins. Southwest across 80 miles of open water lies secret number 2, the Michigan Triangle, where Manitowoc, Ludington, and Benton Harbor form a 2,000 square mile danger zone sailors still approach with salt in their prayers. Since 1840, over 50 vessels and 12 aircraft vanished here without distress calls or debris fields, a rate 6 times higher than Lake Superior. The schooner Thomas Hume cleared Chicago Harbor May 21, 1891, under clearing skies, 135 tons lumber aboard, 7-man crew under Captain Shanks. Last sighted 8 p.m. near St. Joseph, Michigan, never arrived. 10 years later, her intact 120-foot hull washed ashore 80 miles northwest at South Haven. Hold empty, deckhouse demolished, crew vanished without blood or struggle. Northwest Airlines Flight 2501 took off from New York. June 23, 1950, 55 souls aboard DC-4, bound Milwaukee through thunderstorm, radio cut at 11:17 p.m. over the Triangle. Massive search found only seat cushions and oil slicks. Magnetic anomalies here hit 22 degrees deviation, enough to scramble brass compasses and 1950s radar, while longshore currents averaging 3 knots disperse wreckage across 200 square miles. Yet remarkably, some hulks emerge pristine decades later, brass gleaming, as if the lake chose what to return and what to swallow forever. Southwest across 80 miles of open water lies secret number 2, the Michigan Triangle, where Manitowoc, Ludington, and Benton Harbor form a 2,000 square mile danger zone sailors still approach with salt in their prayers. Since 1840, over 50 vessels and 12 aircraft vanished here without distress calls or debris fields, a rate 6 times higher than Lake Superior. The schooner Thomas Hume cleared Chicago Harbor May 21, 1891, under clearing skies, 135 tons lumber aboard, 7-man crew under Captain Shanks. Last sighted 8 p.m. near St. Joseph, Michigan, never arrived. 10 years later, her intact 120-foot hull washed ashore 80 miles northwest at South Haven. Hold empty, deckhouse demolished, crew vanished without blood or struggle. Northwest Airlines Flight 2501 took off from New York. June 23, 1950, 55 souls aboard DC-4, bound Milwaukee through thunderstorm. Radio cut at 11:17 p.m. over the Triangle. Massive search found only seat cushions and oil slicks. Magnetic anomalies here hit 22 degrees deviation, enough to scramble brass compasses and 1950s radar, while longshore currents averaging 3 knots disperse wreckage across 200 square miles. Yet remarkably, some hulks emerge pristine decades later, brass gleaming, as if the lake chose what to return and what to swallow forever. The Triangle Guards, secret number 3. The Christmas tree ship graveyard, where every November since 1867, schooners hauled holiday furs from Manistee forests to Chicago's tenement markets. The Rouse Simmons, largest and finest tree ship on the lakes, cleared Thompson's Pier, November 22, 1912, 250 cords, balsam aboard, Captain Herdig, and 27 hands ignoring small craft warnings. Last sighted 2 p.m. off Raleigh Point, Two Rivers, Wisconsin, sails full in 40-knot northwest gale. Sank with all hands in 165 feet. Her oak hull rests upright today, trees long rotted to silt, but brass lanterns, binnacles, and lifeboat davits gleaming through encrustations. Divers staging from Port Washington report faint creaking sounds through their regulators, like fresh-rigged masts straining in wind, though silt encases her completely. Annual memorial dives. November 23rd, honor the crew who supplied Yule cheer to 400,000 Depression-era Chicagoans before their final voyage. In 1991, no AAROV footage caught something eerie. A single balsam needle drifting from her hold, defying 80 years of decay. Not far in 135 feet near Outer Island Reef, lies secret number 4, the Aber Ward disaster, iron ore carrier that split like matchwood during the Armistice blizzard. October 20th, 1909. Captain Julius Peterson nursed her 291 feet through 80 miles per hour, winds off Apostle Islands when 35-foot seas stove in hatches. Transverse bulkheads failed at 4:17 p.m., bow flooding instantly. Peterson and 16 crew clung to pilot house wreckage 36 hours. Only he survived, rescued hypothermic by Henry B. Smith. Bow section sits perfectly upright 1.2 miles from stern fragment, both remarkably intact, personal effects frozen in place. A crewman's pocket watch stopped at 4:17, porcelain shaving mug upright on washstand, steel-toed boots aligned beside bunks. Maritime historians note Ward's design flaws, inadequate framing for 5,000-ton loads. But that storm generated rogue waves measured 60 feet by contemporary logs, capable of snapping 3/4-inch steel plates. Divers feel claustrophobic pressure even at 150 feet seawater. One reported brass bell tolling softly during 2015 survey, later attributed to thermal contraction. Biological enigmas emerge through secret number 5, submarine springs, where freshwater aquifers punch through Ordovician limestone, creating milky plumes rich in calcium carbonate and sulfides. 32 known sites mapped since 2003 ROV surveys. Largest near-traverse city spans 100 meters diameter, maintaining 10 degrees Celsius, warmer microclimate, attracting rare Gammarus amphipods and Checidata isopods. Discovered accidentally when fishing trawler Viking Trader lost nets in 40 feet below sea level boils. USGS geochemists later confirmed chemosynthetic bacteria mats. White, gelatinous carpets thriving on methane oxidation without sunlight, mirroring Precambrian Earth 3.5 billion years ago. Divers staging from Elk Rapids describe water tasting of minerals through full-face masks, subtle buoyancy shifts as denser springwater layers create invisible thermoclines. Could these model life beneath Europa's ice crust? NOAA proposes drilling cores next decade. The springs bubble constantly. Have you heard their song from surface boats on glassy mornings? Secret number 6. The quagga mussel apocalypse rewrote the lake's ecology after arriving in 1991 Asian freighter ballast. Dreissena bugensis now blankets bottom at 750,000 per square meter, from 10 feet below sea level to 400 feet below sea level, filtering entire 4.9 quadrillion liter volume every 4 days. Water clarity jumped from 3 meters to 10 meters midsummer. Native Lampsiles mussels extinct. Phytoplankton crashed 80%. Whitefish populations collapsed as food chain inverted. Dead zones formed when decaying shells spiked phosphorus to 50 micrograms per liter. Diving ducks starved. Ironically, quaggas stabilized shipwreck sediment, turning graveyards into time capsules. Lady Elgin's 1860, brass portholes gleam again. Biologists fear evolutionary adaptation. Second-generation quaggas spawn in 100% freshwater. Will parasites or zebra/quagga hybrids restore balance, or does Michigan become their permanent empire? Geological time capsules reveal secret number 7. Drowned forests from Nipissing transgression. 4,500 BC, when isostatic rebound lagged post-glacial tilt. USGS cores from 600 feet below sea level Algoma, Wisconsin, contain oak hickory pollen signatures, chestnut bark fragments preserved by phenolic compounds. In 2013 post-storm, 20-foot red pine stump surfaced off Sheboygan, 42 rings counted, dated 4,237 years via radiocarbon, roots clutching submerged cobbles. These relics map paleoclimate. Warmer, wetter periods supported southern hardwoods 300 miles north of current range. Climate models predict +2 meters lake level by 2100 under RCP 8.5, drowning Chicago Midway Airport. Paleoecologists use stumps to validate projections. Fishermen still snag lines on sunken logs each spring. Each snag a message from forgotten summers. Secret number 8. Ridge Road stretches 12 miles parallel to Wisconsin's eastern shore at 180 to 200 feet above sea level. A 10-foot wide pavement of fist-sized dolomite cobbles, laid end-to-end with minimal sediment infill, suggesting artificial construction. USGS multibeam sonar mapped it in 1992 as a potential late woodland portage trail, 1000 AD, linking Green Bay to Lake Winnebago, when shallows made overland carry faster than open water transit. Underwater archaeologists recovered 47 chert points, 12 cord-marked pottery sherds, and 1 complete gorget dated 900 to 1100 AD via thermoluminescence. During the 1934 drought, when levels dropped 9 feet, 3.2 miles surfaced near Algoma. Locals walked it before refilling. Wisconsin Historical Society now stages technical dives from Sturgeon Bay, debating glacial esker versus human engineering. LIDAR finds no natural analogs within 50 miles. Currents hold steady 0.8 knots along its length, creating permanent scour line. Ever felt your boat mysteriously pull east off Kewaunee? Secret number 9. Michigan's Flying Dutchman. The Phoenix steamer that burned to the waterline November 21, 1847, killing 250 Irish immigrants bound for Milwaukee from Buffalo. Captain O.H. Walker ignored ice warnings. Fire erupted from overheated boiler at 4 a.m. in 30 feet of water off Sheboygan. Only 5 survived lashing to flotsam. Her twisted boiler lies intact today. Since 1900, 60-plus documented sightings describe a flaming schooner racing southeast at 25 knots, impossible for 1847 hull speed, visible 10 minutes before, vanishing into squalls. Coast Guard log November 1923. Apparent burning vessel, 400 tons, 3 masts, consumed rapidly 8 miles EN, Sheboygan water intake. Thermal inversion mirage? Generational mass hysteria? Or persistent methane seeps from Antrim shale, igniting surface algae mats, recreating original fire chemistry? Phoenix Memorial Association correlates sightings with barometric pressure below 29.2 inches of mercury. These 9 keys reveal only Lake Michigan's visible secrets, each tying to deeper phenomena modern sonar barely charts. NOAA has mapped 1,847 square miles at 1 meter resolution since 2015, exposing submerged rivers from 13,000 years ago, like the 22-mile channel off Holland, Michigan, where paddlefish once swam through future Milwaukee. Technology shows troubling shifts too. Quagga mussels stripped 92% of native amphipods, crashing trout from 12 to 4.2 pounds average. Chicago sewer bacteria breed antibiotic resistance. July cyanobacteria blooms paint 400 square miles green. Divers near Gary report 72-hour rashes. Human stories endure. Carl D. Bradley split apart 1958, killing 33 of 35. Survivor Frank Mays heard metal screaming seconds before 360-foot dive. Annual Manistee Memorials track her collapsing debris field 67 years on. Anishinaabe oral histories prove prescient. 2021 USGS dives found copper points from drowned Isle Royale mining clans. University of Michigan. ROV mapped Manitou's stone door framing Sleeping Bear Solstice. Sunrise exactly. Summer 2024's Hugin. AUV revealed 7 nested Chippewa Basin. Karsts, with mammoth eDNA in 918-foot sediments, genetic ice age ghosts. USGS predicts plus 1.2 meters rise by 2060, drowning Navy Pier, Milwaukee beaches. Recreational divers log 1,200 reports yearly. Compass spins verified 18 degrees off Beaver Island. Quagga migration trails on GoPro. Each brass porthole glimpse holds science. Lake Michigan measures time in cores, not years. Mastodon stones silent 12 millennia, springs bubbling blindly. Every artifact whispers geological smallness, kindling preservation. What hides in Traverse Bay shadows? Seen Two Rivers lights or Frankfurt booms? Share footage below. Your sighting may unlock number 14. Nature's Chronicles pull like undertow. Subscribe. Great Lakes. Breathe.